tutorial for the Nebula trading card template. This is fairly simple, so I'm just going to probably go through it pretty quick. If you have any questions, though, feel free to contact me. First things first, it's just our little bleed area guide. I try to keep everything within this guide. If you're using somebody like Science 365 to print your trading cards, you want to give them a little bit of a bleed area here. So obviously turn that off before you export the image. You don't want that on there, but while you're working, just keep that on. Yeah, and then I have everything within the front folder. Sorry, I used to have this organized with the front and back in the same document, and I just never took them out of the main subfolder for the front of the card. So anyway, keep it all there. All right, so first things first, we have your logo. That's just literally my watermark for my company. I don't know, I was just trying to mimic like the old baseball cards where they have like tops or whatever right there. Feel free to use it or turn it off. Team logo, that's going to be this guy down here in the corner. Feel free to grab a JPEG from the or PNG, whatever, from the team that you're working with. You can throw that down in there. Let's see, I just added a little drop shadow to it just to give it a little more separation. Your text here, obviously we got first name, last name, team. So feel free to get in there and change it to whatever you need. Get your text tool, just click in there. All right, let's see, moving right along, got your position, this little guy over here. Now these layers here, this is just layer one. These are like all the crazy shapes down here. So this one, if you double click the effects, layer effects of each one of these layers, you'll see we have stroke. That's just going to be here. Let me zoom in. Sorry guys. All right, let's double click effects, and yeah, you'll see. Let's click stroke. Have it at 12 pixels. You just move around. You'll see right in here. It's just changing the outline of this guy in here. And it's at a, let's see here. All right, then we have, and that is an outside stroke. Then a gradient, we see it's going from like a white to gray. Feel free to change that if you want. Double click in these little squares. Just kind of add a little color cast in there. I like white to gray, just kind of keep it simple, not throw too much crazy stuff on there. And then of course my drop shadow again. Now let's go down to the next layer. That's going to be just that main back layer. And the exact same thing. I'm going to double click the effects. Let's see. I do not have a stroke going on that one. No, I do not. Feel free to add one if you want. You can get in here and kind of do whatever you want. I just turned mine off. So I just have an inner shadow. Again, just to give it a little more depth. And your color overlay. So you can just change colors of that as well. And cancel, get out of this. Sorry. And then down here, that's going to be right here where the position is. So if you don't want to put a player position there, you can actually turn this layer off, as well as that text layer there. So feel free to do that. As far as the effects, it's the exact same thing, just little color overlay. Feel free to change that around. I'm going to cancel, get out of that. Let's see. And then this one is just the main back little layer here. So stroke, it looks like we got that red. Change it to whatever you need. And just another shadow. And that's really it as far as the whole bottom portion of this. The rest is fairly simple. So let's get into that. First things first, the way I do it with this look is I have an extracted like portrait type photo. I like putting that in front of this border so it'll overlap. If you look at the top of his hat here, he's overlapping that border a little bit. You don't have to use that. That's completely optional. If you're doing like live action type shots in here, or just something straight out of your camera, and you don't want to cut somebody out and kind of overlap them like that, you don't have to. So I will get out of there. I'll shut that layer off actually, and I'll show you just the background. So right now I have this, if you want to take a picture of your baseball field or your football field or your soccer field or whatever, do that. Throw it in here. If you want, desaturate it. I'll show you how I did that. I'll highlight that background image. I go to image, adjustments, and right here at desaturate, and I'll just turn it black and white. That way I can throw a cool little color cast over it if you want. Double clicking that, move it around to wherever you need. Or you don't have to use any of that at all. You can, let me show you what I did. Right, I'm a portrait guy. I'm not a live guy, so I apologize. So I'm just going to throw in another just portrait. This young man is not cut out of the image or anything like that. I'm just going to throw him in there. Bam. You can just do that. You can just throw him right here in the background image or your action shot, stuff like that. Here's a trick. If you do want to get weird and like add some more separation, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm on a Mac, it's Command J, and I'm going to grab this copy and bring it up here to the extracted folder. Now what I'm going to do is highlight that, go right here to select subject, give it a moment to do that, and I'm immediately going to hit this mask button. And now, oops, sorry, let me hide that one. Now what that did is it did bring him above that border. And just very simple and quick, not a big thing, it's subtle, but it's kind of cool. Just adds a little more depth. Speaking of this border here though, let's move on to that. First off, I'm going to delete what I just did. I'm going to bring this guy back and I'm going to delete this. This is what I originally had. So now I want to go to this border right here, and this is really the last thing we're going to do. So we'll double click this effect, and again we're just going to change well, first off we can change the main color of it. So whatever you want, just do yellow, and then the stroke of it you can either turn off, or you can come in here and just change the color of that. It's very small and kind of subtle up there, but yeah, you see what it's doing. All right, so let me cancel, and that is really it. Again, if you have any questions with any of this, please let me know. Also, you can just turn that, if you don't want that border, you can just turn it off. But again, remember to take the bleed guide off before you export it. Please, please, please don't forget to do that. I can't tell you how many times I've ordered cards and I left the bleed guide on there like a dummy. But yeah, anyway, so that's it. If you have any questions with any of it, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help you out with it. Thank you.